Last year was a great year for the KDE fundraiser, but KDE isn't the only project in the FOSS world which relies on fundraising. In fact, basically all of them do. Some people, yeah, they do have a job and they can go do that, and yeah, for some people, they just do it for the love of the game, but most people out there would prefer some level of support, and recently a post was sent my way from Bradley M. Kuhn of the SFC, the Software Freedom Conservancy. This is the toughest time to work at a charity. When a charity posts its fundraiser, the total ask can be vetted 100 times. It's the amount the org needs to keep going for the coming year. Unlike your local PBS and NPR station, SFC doesn't have a service we can interrupt to pitch appeals for donations, and we probably wouldn't even if we did. SFC is short 48k with just a few days to go. If you want me and my colleagues to work for Software Freedom in 2026, please give. Now, since this post was made, things have drastically changed, and I will show you the update to it, but before we get to that, who is the SFC and what are they actually doing? Why should you care? Well, as it says on their website, the Software Freedom Conservancy is a non-profit organization centered around ethical technology. Our mission is to ensure the right to repair, improve, and reinstall software. We promote and defend these rights through fostering free and open source software, FOSS projects, driving initiatives that actively make technology more inclusive, and advancing policy strategies that defend FOSS, such as copyleft. And most recently, you may have heard about the ongoing lawsuit with Vizio. So Vizio is a TV manufacturer, and basically they wanted access to the source code because there was GPL and LGPL components, and, well, that is something that should be provided to a customer that purchases one of these TVs. Recently, there was some early preliminary rulings on the case. Now, the SFC had some concerns around those rulings because there's this big legal mess around what is being done here, and the judge ruled on some things which the SFC wasn't even asking for, so it's just this whole big mess. I recently did a video on this, and you may recall me talking about Linus Torvalds having some opinions on the lawsuit, which were kind of based on him misunderstanding where the SFC actually stood and thought they were trying to ask for a lot more than the GPL actually provided. Specifically GPL v2, not GPL v3, because there are very big differences there. At the time of that first post being made, things were looking pretty bad. Being down 48k with only a few days left to go, nobody really wants to be in that situation. However, since then, well, there has been a massive improvement to their situation, but that doesn't mean that funding is now over. From Karen Sandler, also of the SFC, did you notice it's January 15, now January 20, and I've not been here trying to raise the last of our match. That's because we made our largest challenge ever already. But 2 new donors challenge us to raise another 40k by February the 5th. I know there's so much going on right now, but software freedom remains a key long-term issue. We're preparing for the Vizio trial to bring consumer rights, running an amazing outreachy round, and working hard for our member projects. Help spread the word. Along with a similar post from the Software Freedom Conservancy themselves. And thanks to 2 anonymous donors, we're extending the match by $40,012 and going until February 5th. Thank you to everyone who helped us meet our original goal, and we are so thrilled to be able to stretch and raise even more for software freedom. Any sustainership or donation made by February 5th will be doubled. Not only did they hit their previous goal, they absolutely shot past it because out of nowhere someone's like, hey, you want 40 grand? I guess 2 people. 40 grand between the 2 of them were like, hey, you want 40 grand? Sure? Yeah? Okay. Here you go. I'd like 40 grand, that'd be nice. Along with this, there was also an update post made on their website. It's pretty much talking about the same stuff talked about already, so I'll leave a link down below if you want to read it for yourself, but I'm not going to read it here. As of the recording, there is 37,410 to go and 2,602 matched. This is where it already was yesterday, so unless this doesn't update live, maybe only updates like, once every day and a bit, I don't think there's been a single donation since yesterday. So that's part of the reason why I'm making this video. If you'd like to go and support the organization, I'll leave all of the links down below. But if you want to support them, what else would you be supporting? Standing up for consumer rights in particular, with copyleft compliance and promoting the software right to repair. This takes you out to the Vizio lawsuit, so if you're not really sure what's happening with the lawsuit, you want to basically see every single thing going on. Pretty much every single link that is relevant is going to be listed here, so be sure to check that out. And this page right here takes you over to their copyleft compliance page, which basically explains, like, why copyleft compliance is important and how this is all being done. The Conservancy's primary work in copyleft compliance currently focuses on our strategic GPL enforcement initiative. This initiative launched in October of 2020 and represents the culmination of nearly 15 years of compliance work of Conservancy spanning 10 different fiscally sponsored projects, past lawsuits against more than a dozen defendants, and hundreds of non-litigation compliance actions. Today, the Conservancy does semi-regular compliance work for its member projects, BusyBox, Git, Inkscape, Mercurial, Samba, QEMU, Wine, and I believe U-Boot recently joined as well. In May of 2012, Conservancy launched the GPL Compliance Project for Linux developers, which handles compliance and enforcement activities on behalf of more than a dozen Linux copyright holders. The GPL Compliance Project for Linux developers is comprised of copyright holders in the Linux kernel who have contributed to Linux under its license, the GPL v2. These copyright holders have formally asked Conservancy to engage in compliance efforts for their copyrights in the Linux kernel. In addition, some developers have directly assigned their copyrights on Linux to the Conservancy, so the Conservancy also enforces the GPL on Linux via its own copyrights in Linux. In August of 2015, the Conservancy announced the Debian Copyright Aggregation Project. This project allows Debian contributors to assign copyrights to the Conservancy or sign enforcement agreements allowing Conservancy to enforce free and open source FOSS licenses on their behalf. Many Debian contributors have chosen each of these options already, and more continue to join. What else do they do? Running internships such as Outreachy and the Institute for Computing in Research to expand the reach of software freedom in new communities. And whilst it is an internship, it does have a stipend, that being $7,000 US. So yeah, it's not going to be the biggest amount of money ever, but it's an internship, and it's a way for new people to actually get paid to work on FOSS, which is not a thing that a lot of people in the FOSS space actually get. Making OpenWRT's first hardware project, the OpenWRT1, become a reality. This is an embedded Linux distro, and they're, I guess, working on an embedded board for their distro, which is neat. Supporting and paying contributors to improve the technical and community prowess of our projects, such as reproducible builds, PHPMyAdmin, Inkscape, and FreeDV. Bringing people together to discuss and work on free and open source software. If you're curious about some of the specific things they've done over the past year, down here they have the 2025 Year in Review, which goes over basically every little thing that they've done. If you want to go check this out again, I will leave this link down below. Feel free to go and do so, and they have some highlights from all of their various member projects that had something interesting happen over the past year. So, if you've been interested in supporting something in the FOSS world, but you don't really want to support a software project because, yeah, they're cool, but like, there's things outside of software projects, and maybe you're more interested in the back-end legal aspect of the FOSS world, go and support the SFC. They're still running their fundraiser, and there's still some matching left, so give them some support. On that note, let me know your thoughts down below. I don't know what to say here. Let me know what you think about the Vizio trial. Yeah, let me know that. Yeah, down below. So, if you liked the video, go subscribe as well. And if you really like the video and you want to support my stuff, check out the Patreon. Subscribe to Daily Bearer Pay, linked down below. That's going to be it for me, and there's a lot more out there. Find some random little project that nobody supports and go and support it.